Hello there. Whether you like it or not, we are changing, and maybe not for the better. A few years ago, if I'd gone into a healthcare setting and been given a form to fill in, I would have ticked all of the relevant boxes without a problem. Even if it asked me, am I pregnant, yes or no? I would have just assumed it was a single form for everyone and just ticked the no box. But I must admit I don't think I ever remember ever being asked to fill in such a form. Maybe that's because it was just not noteworthy back then. But now, one male blood donor in his 60s, Leslie Sinclair, who has donated 125 pints of blood over 5 decades, saw that question on his blood donor form and refused to answer it. As a result, the NHS turned him and his blood away, with the story making it into the Daily Mail, and it sparked a flurry of comments. Many saying that Mr. Sinclair did the right thing, while some others said he should have just ticked the no box and given the blood, because the blood was more important than the question. You know, men should man up, stiff upper lip and all of that, when the woke are telling men to be more sensitive. But there are also some who claim to be regular blood donors who said they would now stop doing so, and that should worry us all. Now, as I said a couple of decades ago, I wouldn't have thought twice about such a question. And I'm wondering if Mr. Sinclair and many of those commenters would have felt exactly the same way back then. But it seems to me that now we have wokeness being forced on us from all sides in order to be inclusive, all it has done is made any problems that were there worse. And I won't even mention what some are trying to push in our schools. Wokeness has made ordinary men now more sensitive about their identity. It has also made women more sensitive about their identity, given the debate around sport and access to the lavatory. And the woke will of course blame the ordinary men and women for that. They will blame ordinary people for being intolerant. They will never accept that what they are trying to force on society, far from delivering inclusivity, might be to blame for the increased division. Just because some people believe in gender fluidity does not mean that the whole of society has to run based on that idea. Then there's the whole inconsistency of wokeness. You can self-identify as any of the dozens or even hundreds of genders now available to you. But at the end of the day, they then want to shoehorn them all into one of two genders in order to be accepted by society as a whole, while at exactly the same time trying to force the rest of society into their gender-fluid universe. No wonder it's causing division and confusion. And it's also causing more expense to be incurred by the taxpayer, as ever more equality, diversity and inclusion officers are taken on. All that does is injects more wokeness, as these officers define ever more sources of division, and that therefore injects more division into society, spawning yet more equality, diversity and inclusion officers. And just so you know, and if you don't believe me, just go and use your favourite search engine, some people are referring to white people using the letters Y and T in a derogatory way to make YT, whitey, without writing it out. Wokeness is divisiveness. 1.